Headphones on. Mm-hmm. Can I do the opposite? Oh, wait. Oh, that's much better. Beep, beep. Put on my Audacity. Click. Test, test. Test, test. Okay. Chord. Switch transition. I wonder why I don't have the right. Oh well. And it has begun. Good evening, everybody. This is Ice Code. This is season 0, episode 6. I titled this one Just a Thought. It's going to be a special episode. We're going to talk a little bit of I guess about the controversies going along the last couple weeks or month around the Joker movie, which I saw that on my birthday, which was freaking awesome. Chef's kiss on that. And also about some video game news dealing with the whole Blizzard backlash and boycott Blizzard and the Blizzard censorship controversy has been going the last couple of weeks with Blitzchung and his Hearthstone tournament win, speech that he gave supporting the Hong Kong. Oh, let me fix that camera up just a little bit. There we go. All right. So with that said, let's just get right into it. I didn't do an episode last week because, like I said, it was my birthday weekend. I just wanted to relax and chill. I think the episode before that we were talking about. I think I talked about the Breakpoint, the beta, and that's about it for that. So we're gonna dive in something a little bit more serious, a little bit more introspective, as I wanted to put down. So, quick disclaimer: this podcast is not a news podcast. It's not an investigative, in-depth, bring out all the information type thing. I'm not a news podcast. That's what I'm trying to say. What I want to say is that in my first two, I was describing what I want, and that is pretty much whatever catches my eye or catches my fancy, my interest. I want to talk about, like if I was talking to anybody else. So, with that being said, these two topics are a little bit more serious, and they have a lot of criticism and opinions. And that's not something I would normally go through, but at the same time, it did really catch my interest. And I figured, you know what? I have a podcast, I have a mic and a camera and a computer, so why not, say something? I'm not trying to change anybody's mind or anything. So please get that out your mindset. I'm not one of those type where if you disagree with me, you're wrong. It's if you disagree with me, I just want to figure out why. And if I can understand that, then we're better. I think we'll be both better for that. And I think it's good for me to express these thoughts every now and again, besides just fun stuff or joking around, because that way you can kind of relate to me and vice versa, knowing that maybe we do share some views, and if not, maybe we could talk about it because sometimes that difference, you know, it builds. Okay, let's see, let's get right into it. We're gonna talk about the first thing, Joker. Joker, awesome movie. One of the best films I've seen this year, easily, maybe the last couple years, and that's if you take away the I guess the Marvel movies, the MCU universe, because they're all great movies. They're all excellently written with just enough of humor and action to really capture the kid inside of me, which is a weird way to say that, but you know what I'm saying. Like it really gets to me like in a childlike wonder where like I can just relax and enjoy fun, comic books, yada yada yada. Joker took a different route and went more of a, well, it's heavily, very heavily, if I might add, influenced by Scorsese and kind of that dark and gritty approach. But other than that, the movie was great, and you have to give the actors credit because that's one of the big things that makes me want to watch a movie, not just a good script and get the budgets right to build the world, but also can the actors bring it to life as well. And Joaquin Phoenix, since you see him probably like 95% of the time, if not 100% of that whole movie, he he brought it there. You cannot knock it. His performance was great. I'm not the biggest fan of his. I'm not. Let me rephrase that. I'm a big fan of his, but it's not. I'm not like I'm not fanboy or anything. Like I definitely respect his acting chops. He's somebody that I can at least count on in a movie, whether it's a good movie or not, to at least bring his 100%. So with that, with him being in that movie and with the camera always on him, you get 100% of this character, of him portraying this character, and I think that is awesome. For you not to get bored with seeing him or anything like that. I don't know why I'm being this word right now. Shouldn't have done that, but whatever. So I'm gonna talk about the character a little bit because, as I said before, you see him pretty much the entire time, and he's Arthur Fleck. So, like I said, this is gonna be a non-spoil. I'm just gonna kind of give off the synopsis. I'm not gonna get into much detail, or yeah, I'm not gonna get into much detail about what's happened in the movie that would spoil anything, other than stuff that anybody that follows either the comics or you know the talks around the movie. If you're going in straight blind, then maybe you do wanna avoid this because it might set off some expectations you had. But I'll do my best not to dive too deep into it. But basically, what you expect, and it's kind of got the was it the last laugh or one bad day? I forgot what that novel no. But pretty much, it's the Joker before he becomes the Joker, and it's one bad day after another until one day he just kind of snaps. When he snaps, I won't say. How he snaps, I won't say. But you do get this sense of tragedy from him because he's just, this is a bad day here. Next thing you know, it's another bad day or bad news, and you're just like, wow. And you do feel a slight bit of sympathy, and I won't go into detail, but you never really excuse him from it though. It's not so much where you're like, I totally get it why you did this, blah 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 blah. No, it's more like I understand. I can see it's a tough situation, and this guy is a broken shell of a man somewhat. So would it happen to me? Would I fall into that road? Most definitely no. But however, you do kind of just a bit relate where you be like, I've had days where it's like, if one more thing happens, I'm a flip. It may not be as crucial as what happened in the movie, but it resembles that. It's just, way down the line in a more civil area. So you don't really, nothing really justifies what he does, but there's like a relation and an understanding to it. Um, and it's a simple movie. I mean it's complicated in the sense that there's some social color in there because there's a lot of talk about the haves and the have-nots, the rich and the poor, the 99 versus the 1%. Like that's a big focus in the movie, and it's kind of what drives a lot of stuff. And there's also some, mm, I guess you could say, secondary, or it's almost just as important as the haves and have-nots talk, but a lot of stuff dealing with mental issues and the facilities and how to approach it in America. That was a big thing. They didn't really stay too much on it, but at the same time, it was kind of the underlying focus point, right below, the what was causing the social. social what do I want to call it, eruption, I guess you could say, and that was the mental aspect of Arthur Fleck, which you can see in the commercials. He's talking to a social worker and everything, and they go into deeper detail about that, and they do, I think, a good job. They don't hit you over the head with it, and I really appreciated that because you already get it, and they don't take time out to just be like to set an example or to just give you a PSA. It's included in it. But let's see what else. Um, I was so like I said, simple movie other than those complex issues. So I can't really talk too much about it. But like you really have to just go see it. Cause I'm not like I said, I don't want to do a spoiler. Maybe next week I'll do a spoiler one because it takes me like a week or two to weather down from the movie. Like I've confession time. I saw BVS, Batman vs Superman. I was like, this movie is awesome. I love this movie. And then literally like maybe 3 days, I was like, oh, it wasn't as good as I thought it was. It was. I liked it still. I don't care what anybody says. I like that interpretation of Batman just because of the way he looked, and it just makes more sense for Batman to kill somebody with a Batmobile. I don't care what anybody says. It just it's impossible for him not to kill somebody with a Batmobile or in any of his missions. Maybe every now, like most of them, but to do what he has to do, someone's going to get hit hard. You know, he hits people hard. So beside the point, it takes me like a week. It took me about a week to really get off the high, and I was happy to say that I still really like the movie, but it does suffer from a couple things in my opinion. I stayed away from most of the views on YouTube because I didn't want it to have that mingle with me or feel like I got influenced by it. I may have watched one or two from some of my favorite people, and I agree with one, and then I disagree with another, and I kind of kept it at that. Other than that, I just kind of watched like Easter eggs to see what kind of references I missed. So for me, it's like it was so heavily influenced by Scorsese and homage to him that I kind of thought that he was in the movie. Like he either produced it or directed the movie. I really thought he like was a part of the movie process. Turns out he barely was. He had producer in name, but from what everybody else say, he didn't have any involvement in it. It was just kind of Todd Phillips and the writer, doing this, and it's really heavy like to Taxi Driver. There's a lot of similarities and mirrors in that one. And you can't really knock it for that because that's it's been homaged so many times or it's been referenced so many times. Or it could just be a coincidence, the fact that this is how a lot of people approach things. So it's hard to say like was it just directly trying to get that feel from Taxi Cab, or was it more of a just how else can you express this thought in terms of someone being beaten down and trying to rise above that, but in a negative way. However, it's still really heavy. Like I think that another movie from what's they referenced was The Comedian. Um, Dang, I meant to write that one down. But it was another movie that's directed by Scorsese and it had Robert De Niro in it. And he was a pretty much a psychopathic comedian trying to get into the big leagues and went about it in a weird way. So that's in there a lot. It doesn't really spoil anything because Joker, one of his possible origins that he was a failed comedian. So that's you're gonna kind of expect that in there. But like I said, I really thought that Scorsese was in it in some way. I was talking about after the movie like, oh yeah, I don't think he's gonna make a sequel, and I forgot it was Todd Phillips. That's how much it was. And I think that kind of took away from the identity of the movie that it could have had. Like it's supposed to be not necessarily a comic book movie because I kind of hate that term now because I think everybody has an expectation for that, and it's gonna be held to the standard of a Marvel movie, especially since they've had so many years to pretty much take control of that. You know, Warner Bros. Warner Bros. Tried to do the same thing with Justice League and BVS, and it just didn't work out. So it's gonna be held to that standard. The only one I liked that wasn't a Marvel movie. I mean, there's been plenty. Like Blade was technically one, But I liked Zack. Actually, they're both Zack Snyder's film, and that's Watchmen and Man of Steel. And those are kind. Man of Watchmen's not an origin. It was pretty much just a. It was the interpretation of the graphic novel that came out, and then BVS, not BVS, excuse me, but what's the movie? Man of Steel definitely was like an origin, which I really liked. You know, there could have been some changes here and there, but I really, really liked it because just like in Joker, Henry Cavill is pretty much the central focus. Like you see him almost through every minute of the movie, except for maybe a few times when in Daily Planet, and you're looking at Lawrence Fishburne and whoever played Lois Lane for a few minutes. So you get to see his thinking process, what he's going through, his emotions, and I like that build up. And you do get that in art and in Joker definitely because he's there a lot. There were some things missing. I felt like they just focus on the bad days. You don't really see you don't see his rationality, I guess. And that might be the thing. Like then maybe there was no rationale, but you just see his reactions to things, or you see deeper into his mind, but it's not explaining anything. It's just here is a kind of like a plot inside the plot. You don't hear his thoughts. You don't, except for a few times, but you don't get a growing sense of, you know, will I ever understand why he's doing what he's doing. And some people could complain about that, or some people could see that that's probably why, because he's the Joker. You know, you're not supposed to understand. You're supposed to kind of maybe relate to it, maybe sympathize, understand the tragedy, but you're not. You're never gonna be like, okay, you know what? This is why I do it because he said this. No, he said some things, but he doesn't even know why he's saying it, or at least we don't know why he is saying it. And I really felt that it hurt it as a comic book movie, because even though it was an origin, it's so heavy on like on different properties that it's like, okay, I get it, you know. But it was still very very good. I'll see it again, not in theaters though, but when it comes back, maybe on Blu-ray or DVD, I would love to check it out. Maybe watch it again. Cause I mean I like those movies. Let's see what else. What else? What else about that movie? Something about that movie. I was gonna bring up. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, so the point I was trying to make was basically Joker could have been, if it wasn't named Joker, it would have been a good movie still, just because the actors were great, even the supporting cast was good. The story was engaging. Basically, it's just a man down his luck and his choices to rise above that, and it's of course it's negative. It's nothing to root for, but at the same time, it's a very interesting thing to watch and engaging thing to watch. Like I was pretty much even during the slow pace moments, I was engaged. I was like, what's going to happen next? Anticipating, is something's going to pop off like in a crazy way, or is there going to be a thing I would not expect? You know, so that movie was good. Even if it was called just Arthur, you know, because that's the name of the character. If it's just called Arthur and it had no ties to the DC universe, would I it probably wouldn't have drawn me to the theater. I admit that if it was just called that. But if I saw the trailer, like you know what, I would check it out when it comes out on DVD, or if I had some free time and some money, I'd be like, you know, I'll go watch it. So with that being said, it could have been a way better Joker movie, I guess. There was a lot of things that I appreciated with in terms of the comics that I, you know, in this universe I would accept. Like, I can't go too much detail, but it explained a couple things in terms of the dynamic between the people and the villain that I really appreciated. And yeah, I think I will do a one podcast next week and talk about the Joker a little bit in depth. But I do feel like it really wasn't a Joker movie. And yeah, whoever sees this or whoever will see this, I think you'll understand at the end. It's like, huh. So that's what I said. Like, good movie with with the name. It could have been a way better name if things took some elements, or they just focused more around the source material. Because there's a lot of, I mean, with an origin that's not even in canon, there's a lot of liberties that were taken, and they weren't wrong. It's just that it really wasn't what you expect for a Joker movie. All right, that was pretty much the review. Like I said, I love the movie. Great cast, great acting. Story was engaging. They could have watered down the homages to Scorsese and De Niro a little bit, and maybe focus on some more source material to really flesh out kind of what we know, and just give some more reason behind it. But yeah, I'll definitely give it a chef's kiss. Wow, beautiful movie. So with that out the way, we're going to talk about just be real quick. Oh no, I lied. It'll be about 5-10 minutes. But we're going to talk about how the um the media was talking that could this movie incite mass shootings and everything due to the social construct in the movie, talking about the haves and have-nots, and could it be violence between them, and also because a few years ago during the Dark Knight there was a mass shooting and people died. The man was dressed up as either the Joker or Batman, shot up a theater. I wish I want to say California, but I want to say California, Texas. That's where it happened at. So people of the victims of that shooting kind of plead not to, or at least be careful in how you portray this movie. And I think that just it kind of mirrors the whole thing that's been going on this year with Congress and government talking about how people are using video games as a scapegoat, saying that they're shooting. Same thing for this movie. I think it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that a person who probably shouldn't be watching that graphic stuff, period, needs to be, not held accountable for what he does. If he's gonna blame video games and you're gonna actually run with that, then I think that's gonna be censorship to the highest degree, because just like a video game, a book could do the same thing. People have read books and have gone on rampages for what they believed that book was trying to tell them. People have come across propaganda, heard speeches, picked up a weapon of some sort, and tried to, exact justice in some way. And I think it's bad to blame video games. I think it's bad to blame movies. Movies is just a medium, and mediums and forms of art have been around for millennia. It's nothing new, and it's been going on since then. That person needs to be looked at. Not to be mean about it, but if that person can't handle fiction, how's he going to handle nonfiction? How's he going to handle the real life? He or she. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. I always find that hilarious that they will make a hard argument talking about the violence in video games and movies and literature, like it doesn't compare to what's been going on in the world, even without that being an influence. Like there's so much gang violence out there due to drugs, due to poverty, due to mental illness. You know, it's ridiculous, in my opinion, but it is what it is in the world. And the news is gonna say what it's gonna say, or try to incite something. But that was it. Like I said, that was just gonna be a quick few minutes. I wanna, because it really mirrors how they were talking about the movie, and how in the past video games have been quote unquote linked to to violence, and maybe that person just wasn't stable enough to watch what should have been a form of entertainment. Is what I want to say. So yeah, hold on, let me check something real quick, because I'm gonna take a quick break. We'll go to the next segment, which we're gonna talk about the blizzards. I feel like, can you hear me? Check. Okay. I need to do a quick check with. I should have did this about 20 minutes ago, but hold on. So that's my first soapbox moment. I'm gonna do a couple more. We're gonna talk about Blizzard in a few minutes. So I want to make sure that I did a mic check on the before I did this. And I want to make sure it's still good. Like my headphones aren't good enough. Do do do. All right, so let me stop the recording real quick. Check, 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 check. Check it, check, 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 check. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Could be just a tad bit better, maybe, but okay. I'm trying to do this. See how that works. Welcome back. This is part two of the Ice Cold No Pressure podcast. All right, so we're gonna talk about something a little heavy today. Heavier than the Joker, heavier than anything. Oh wait, I can't hear nothing. How did I do that? How did I do that? Okay, let me bring the mic down just a little bit. All right, talk about Blizzard. We're gonna talk about the controversy behind that. We're gonna talk about the a little history lesson, maybe, maybe, maybe. Got some points I want to get across. I don't want to go too deep into it because it was way more than I thought. I was like, oh my goodness, this is like a little study I have to do. So this is definitely gonna be a soapbox moment. If you agree, then cool. If you do not agree, talk to me about it. Hit me up on the comments. Hit me up on a Discord, which I will have up soon. So here's the deal. We got last week or what? Around the 8th, I think. Blitzchung won a Hearthstone tournament. Used that platform during an official, I guess, press release and victory speech to give his support for the Hong Kong. He's a Hong Kong native, from what I believe. Um, the sportscasters ducked down to kind of, I guess, avoid the relation to that, so they wouldn't be linked up, which kind of gives you a sense that they knew he was going to say that. He wore the goggles and the mask, which is kind of represent a representation of the protesters during Hong Kong. Said he supports Hong Kong, supports freedom. Pretty much a two-phrase sentence. Got banned from tournaments. Got his Grandmaster money taken away, his Grandmaster title taken away, I think, for a year. He could not be in tournaments. And it was under the impression, well, pretty much it was a violation of Blizzard's, I guess you could say, code of conduct. I got the screen up right here. So let's switch it. Boom, boom. And what we're gonna see. So here's, I think I got the other one. Let me get the. So here's the actual rule that said that was violated. Engaging in any act that in Blizzard's sole discretion brings you into public disrepute, offends a portion or group of the group, excuse me, or a group of the public, or otherwise damages Blizzard image will result in removal from Grandmasters and reduction of the player's prize total to $0 US. In addition to other remedies which may be provided for under the handbook and Blizzard's website terms. Now I had to look at this a couple of times, and when I re-looked at it today, I was kind of thinking, oh, that seems like a reach, but you have to like really look into it. And I don't take law or anything like that, but if you have rules, then you have rules. And I guess where it says, you know, brings you into public disrepute, that's up to interpretation. Offends a portion or group of the public, also up for interpretation, and otherwise damages Blizzard image will result. So that, I think, to me, that last one, damages Blizzard image, that's clearly an influence from their relationship with China and the Chinese business. So I can't knock them for following through the rules. So that's, like I said, that's gonna be kind of a hit and miss for a lot of y'all. Y'all may not agree, and I guess okay. Let me say this first. Um, my thing is, if you in somebody's home, pretty much you follow the rules, whether they're right or wrong or something you're used to or not. That's respect, you know. And so, like I said, I'm sticking to my guns on this. Here's the thing: he violated a rule, and he was punished for it. Now, do I feel the punishment was harsh? Yes, I think for something like that, could have um could have been a lighter. But it's actually in the rules where it says, at least financially, they're gonna have that money taken away. And they don't really say too much about the suspension, but they added that in there, which I think might have been influenced by the Chinese thing too, because the more, let's say he wins more, there's more opportunities for them to do that on their platform. So yeah, I can't knock Blizzard for following up, because here's the thing: what if, now this is it's gonna be something hard to swallow, or maybe hard to think about, but what if he supported China and then did the exact same thing, removed him and took away his money, suspended him? Would the same reaction come out? Hmm? Now you have to really think about that, because it's free speech until someone goes against what you're saying. And this is a very opinionated statement. There's no scientific backing, but look, you have to really look at how things go about. There's a mob mentality about this. And once again, I'm not saying that what Blizzard is talking about, because they say that it wasn't influenced by China. However, it was very influenced by China. That is a huge, huge asset in the overseas department. It's probably the only, like, I was talking to a friend. Anybody that's doing anything international, unless it's something very specific, or something, some type of unique resource that comes from there, China is a huge asset in terms of of building that stock and that and getting that financial asset going. There's like almost 2 billion people there. That's a whole other side of the world. That's what, almost a third of the world right there. Huge, huge. So yeah, I do believe that I do believe this is talking about that it wasn't influenced by that. Yeah, because you have to realize this. If someone said on their platform that yeah, I support China, and they didn't censor them or didn't suspend them or punish them for saying a political statement that could bring about disregard, because that's going to be just not disregard but disrepute or make them have damage in their image. Because if they didn't, then all of America, who's already on this bandwagon and already on this mob mentality, they're going to be like doubling down on the fact that you are definitely in bed with China more than you know more than the given connotation. So they're shit either way, you know. That's why I think they have this clause in it, so that way they don't have to pick. You know, just don't say anything that's gonna hurt any relationships that we have, because people forget that Blizzard is a business. You know, it's not a person. It's not just one person. Yeah, there's a president, but it's a committee. It's a council, whatever. They make the rules, and the best way to do is to be as um beneficial to their relationships, but at the same time, you still have to run this business. So I think, how else can I put this? No, I think what I said was pretty good, and that's just pretty much what it is, guys. I feel like the punishment was way too harsh for for that, but they're entitled to make whatever punishment they want to. However, what, a week or a week and a half later, they came out with the shortened suspension. They gave the money back, and they stated that this was the reason why. If they had did that in the very, very, very beginning, I think it wouldn't have blown up as big. And if also people weren't just trying to be justice warriors, it wouldn't be that big either. You can't say, you can't tell somebody how to run their business. I mean, you can, of course, but this is one of the situations where like it's pretty much black and white. Everybody who signed this knew this, especially during this time. The protest's been going on since June. I want to say June or April. So it's already tension about that, just in terms of businesses that have relations with China. And Lord and behold, that's a lot. Not just the NBA, not just Blizzard, not just who's the other one I saw? It's a lot. Walmart, fast foods are in China. Excuse me. Oh man, that was weird. Sports. And on top of that, I don't know if anybody noticed. This is sarcasm. I don't know if anybody noticed, but here's the thing: China's been a communist state for almost a century officially. And before that, I'm not gonna go too much into the social studies, but you know, this has always been the way China, to reach a political advantage. This is how it's always been pretty much portrayed and how they work. They are pretty ruthless. So my thing is, if you're mad because a company in the United States has relations with China and wanted to keep it that and keep it still in the green, the thing is, nothing's really changed since the only thing that's changed is that something brought it more into light. The fact that Blizzard had to censor, or not censor, but just had to punish for breaking the rule to keep that relation strong doesn't change the fact that they have had a relationship with China. They kind of running that to us into the ground right there, but if it never happened, the thing is, Blizzard, the NBA, whoever else that has business with China has been working with China. Okay, if you're mad at about how China treats its people, you should have been boycotting long time ago. The fact that we're doing business with them, that we have a type of economic relationship with this country. I'll just say, oh, I might have to bring this up. I wish I had some more people to talk to about this one because this one's kind of fun. So else? Well, I had some other points on here, and I wanna kind of express that one a lot more clear. I think you kind of get the point. The point is, it's not that Blizzard has succumb to China's censorship. It's the fact that they have a business relationship. The point of the rules is not mess that up. China has never changed from just a democracy or an imperial government to a communist. They've been a communist state for 100 years, 98 years. President Z has been president since what 2000 and da, 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 da. Either way, he's been a high ranking officer or status for decades. Blizzard has been overseas or China for since 2008 with I think it's Nectace or whatever company they have that brings some StarCraft to China. It hasn't changed anything. The whole point of the rule is to keep that relationship. They already know that they're very particular in how they are viewed. So this rule is so that way, you know what, we have this relationship. We do not want to mess it up. Yeah, they're communists, but also they don't like us. However, we have this partnership. That's the whole reason why. So I can't be too mad at Blizzard. Boom, I said it. I said it. I can't be that mad at Blizzard for doing what y'all already pretty much promoted them to do anyway. For anybody that says they're being weak or says they're being just influenced by China, it's a business. It's been going on since the day of time. You have relationships with enemies sometimes, or people that you have this not too similar thoughts together. After wars, sometimes the victor takes over the research. World War II, maybe according to history, that's what happened. Scientists they turn coded or they switch sides, shared information, and that's no one's saying anything about that. No one's boycotting whatever invention that was brought up from that. And some of them are messed up. And I think it's a just a SJW type. You know, it's good intentions going. It's good intentions with bad motivation. I think. Or I don't know. It's weird because yeah, you want to root for. I'm sorry, I don't know why I ate that. Because yeah, you want to root for justice. I mean, any country that's about to lose freedom deserves support, deserves help, deserves not to go through losing all them freedoms. Because some people take it for granted, and it'll be messed up for Hong Kong to have this freedom for like the last 30 years, and then in some type of political loophole get taken down bit by bit. So yeah, definitely I send out my prayers to Hong Kong because that's messed up, and especially since we know how if a country can just ban anything just because it doesn't like it, as opposed to just understanding it or let it be instead of just taking it as a super insult, that's tough. That's a tough country to have to deal with. A tough government, more rather, political viewpoint. So it's crazy, you know. Um, but for Blizzard, I think they were just doing what they could to keep their relationship good. You could talk about the NBA. okay, let me backtrack. I originally thought that the kid had just said it on his own Instagram. So I was like, okay, yeah, I can see why the backlash is so bad. But turns out he was on their platform. That's like if anybody here that streams, if you have rules and someone's talking about, I don't know, pedophilia, or they were talking about how to make drugs, and you're very pro, you're very conscientious like in the drug community as opposed to like you don't want that to be known, or you don't want people talking about it or promoting it. You're going to tell them to either stop or get off the channel. That's exactly what happened. Oh no, I just remember I didn't change the name. But shit. That's exactly is how how it's done. Hold on, guys. Do 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 do. Oops. All right. That was a mess. That was my only mistake. Oh man, I didn't mean to do that. But what was I? What was I at? Okay, so yeah, I'm not mad at Blizzard. I do feel like they approached it the entirely wrong way. They should have known this was gonna be their PR guy. Probably they probably got fired or something, but they went way too hard to give the people any type of any type of doubt that you know what they're just doing it for the business sake. But I don't think it really mattered. I think people still would have been like, "Oh, you guys are, you got stock in China. This is why you're doing this." And that the answer is yes. That is why they're doing it. It wasn't supposed to be like a hidden thing. It was this is the exact reason why. It's not because we're trying to become underlings to them. It's just that we get money from them. We have a relationship with them. Why am I trying to mess this up? Do not try. I don't want to say good nor bad. So here's another thing I want you guys to think about, and I'm going to tell you this in about 2 minutes because I forgot to put in my title for this thing. I got people coming and think I'm playing Borderlands, and I'm not playing Borderlands. My bad. All right, that works. Just give me 2 minutes. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Pull up a seat, guys. I'm about to throw some knowledge at you. Some knowledge. Think about it like this. I looked up. I tried to look up. Well, I tried to Google. You know who's supporting this, and there's people supporting this. I've heard some congressmen saying that, pretty much just saying what everybody's just saying that the NBA is cowards and Blizzard are cowards. Yada yada yada. However, I haven't seen any celebrities from anybody that's very that's close from China. So Disney, they have deals, they have talks, they have relationships to some type. I have yet to hear anybody talk about that, and I could probably do a little bit more deeper research just to see. But Disney is very notorious for kind of having that contract to control the actors and actresses. They have probably a strict regiment on what you can say, what you can't say. Which I was, which is funny because yeah. So let's think about this. China's a big market, huge international market. Let's rewind to two examples of this. So we got Blitzchung in support, cool. Everybody's like, yeah, he gets he doesn't get censored, but he does get punished for violating some political viewpoints, which was not to have any. Let's go back to August or July. We have the actress that's playing Mulan. She was in support of Hong Kong's police during the time of brutality, of noted brutality cases. And I do not know why, because she never explained it from what I've seen. However, freedom of speech. She was just expressing her her views on her own platform on Instagram, and everybody was trying to ban that movie because it went against what was being said. What the status quo was, which pretty much everybody's like, "Oh, that's wrong. Why would you say that?" So like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, it was hashtag boycott Mulan, or you know, it's kind of died down because I haven't seen anybody else talk about it. But that was the thing. And then let's talk about when remember when James Gunn got fired from Guardians of the Galaxy? Now that was pretty much an internal thing. I'm sorry if anybody who's watching this think I'm playing Borderlands. I'm doing a podcast. It's I'm just talking about the Blizzard thing. So sorry for the misconception. I mean misadventures over here. My bad. I'm about to change the title now. But so James Gunn got fired for old tweets. This is gonna relate. So think about it. That's a United States thing pretty much. Internal. No big revenues are gonna be hurt because of international stuff. And you had like, especially who was it? Dave Batista spoke really big. He pretty much said, "You do this, I'll run away and quit." And but nothing blew up because of it. No one got shut down because this Batista left. There wasn't going to be a whole lot of money lost. If China was to shut down any partnerships with any company, that company is gonna suffer immensely. And I think people. Oh, sorry, Peter. Jeffrey. And although people's got like people have the right. I want to say intentional motive. I can't decipher which one it is, but something is missing. Maybe it's the wrong motivation, the right intent for somebody's freedom, but why? It sound almost like you're not paying any attention to everything that's going on, and you're just doing what you think is right instead of knowing what you're doing is right. That makes any sense. Because I'm gonna bring up another point in another article I saw. It's not, you know, hyper confirmed or anything. No pressure. Okay. I can't believe I did that. Can't believe, well, doesn't really change too much, but I wish I. Oops. Sorry. I had everything right except for that. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, I got a few more minutes to talk about it. I'm gonna show an article. I'm gonna show an article real quick. And it said something really weird and interesting. All right, let's go to this page. So this is supposed to be all about freedom of speech and doing what's right. But if this is to be taken seriously, okay, protesters upset with Blizzard's lack of support for Hong Kong are planning to show up at the company annual fan convention. You have every right to do that, you know? That's what protesters, that's the freedom of speech for. You protest, you speak your mind. I think people forget that protesting is a time to, I guess, debate and maybe even negotiate to a degree. But that's your time to try to convince somebody like maybe this is not the right way. But there's a subtlety to it, I think. And some people just go and brute force thinking that, hey, I'm right. You need to change this. One group of protesters plan to form picket lines outside of the event and interrupt the BlizzCon panel discussion with questions about Hong Kong. Okay. The same group is demanding that Blizzard make a public statement in support of Hong Kong, apologize, and reverse the punishments and create a special protest costume for the Chinese Overwatch character Mei. Now, and it might just be me. Maybe I'm in the wrong for thinking this, but doesn't that seem a little forceful right there? You're demanding that Blizzard make a public statement in support of Hong Kong. I feel that's not even freedom of speech at that point. That's just driving what you want, you know? Let me say that again. The same group is demanding that Blizzard make a public statement in support. Now, Blizzard is once again is a company. I don't know who runs the company. I don't know their beliefs. I don't know their religion, their orientation. I don't know any of that. But I do know at the end of the day, Blizzard is a company. A company makes money. Now they will do some nefarious things to make money if some things are to be believed. Now let's say they're not. Let's say they're doing everything by the book. You know? Let's say the whole reason that they have this rule is so that way they can keep it that way. They're not on either side. Who says they support what's going on in Hong Kong, but at the same time, you already know if they say something, they're going to suspend that money. The point I tried to make earlier is if you were upset that Blizzard was working with China in the first place, a boycott should have happened in at least 2008 because nothing's changed from China to this point, from what I could gather. You know, now you're forcing a company to do something that they've already doing to do something that you have already I want to say acknowledge, but didn't have any mind to disagree with. See what I'm saying? Mm, like they've been doing this. Now all of a sudden you've changed your mind because it's brought into attention that hey, you know what? They're censoring this dude, which they didn't censor him. They just suspended him. He broke a rule, guys. That's it. You know, you should have been doing this a long time ago. Do I think that companies should be doing business with China? I have no idea to be honest. That's a that's a college league question for me, and I don't know. I couldn't say. It's it's part of the world, you know. Trade here, trade there. You work with me, I work with you. Whether we have different views or not, or same views, it's always been the case. So that's just something to really think about, you know. Yes, it's good to promote free speech, but at this point, you're just promoting your own agenda. Yes, it's in the form of justice, but that's exactly how shit turns upside down. You force something, whether it was good or bad, if you force somebody to do something instead of having them either make their own decisions, you're going to get a get a revolt. And this is in this case, it's going to be the big company versus the little company, who, no, not little company, but the little people who are essentially, I would say, right. But the backlash back to them could be something far because they made this one. They know what we have all the money. We could do what we want. I'll just cut this. Like they may call the bluff. You want to boycott? Fine. No more of this. Boom. And then you can't be mad at that point because you got what you wanted. You got them to create something that wasn't, I guess around China or whatnot. But guys, like that's pretty much the gist of it. I wouldn't mind talking about this again just because I feel like I am missing a couple points and I just don't know how to word it yet. So maybe if you see the video and comment to me, talk to me. If I'm missing anything, or because I know I'm missing a lot of like maybe history, but I just wanted the broad spectrum of things because pretty much that's all you need for what I'm trying to say. I mean, I looked up the history last night and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, interesting. But in the essence, this is what I'm talking about. You have a company who just reinforced the rules for something that could have been said on any other platform that wasn't theirs. You've got the people who feel that this company, because they're in leagues with China for certain things, are are just as bad as censoring us, which I don't really agree with that. I think it's just them making sure that their relations are good. Now, it's not like they killed the guy or they're saying hail China. They're just saying do not say anything that's gonna be bad. If that kid had said anything else or said the opposite, technically it's the same thing. If he said he promoted or supported China and they banned him, whatever, that's gonna look bad on I guess on China's point of view. So to not to cut the middleman out, don't say nothing at all. If you're gonna say something, say it on your own platform. We have a business partnership to keep it that way. This has been going on for decades now. So it's not like you guys haven't known this. And once again, I'm not behind Blizzard. I'm just saying, put yourself put yourself in your own shoes, and then say like someone came in there and started talking about something that was not in your agenda, or you know for a fact I do not want this talked about on my platform. Someone did that. You're not going to just let them talk. You're going to either warn them or ban them. And I think the warning should have been the smart play on Blizzard's part. That way, they could have, recited the rules and said this is not kosher, but we get it, did it. Don't do it again. You do it again, then you have to suffer the consequences. And so they waited for like 2 weeks to do that. Whew, that was a bad move, very bad move. I think if they did it like the first time, it wouldn't have been as a bad wouldn't have been as bad. And that's pretty much. I really thought that was kind of like common sense. Um, but everybody has different perspectives on that. It's just different. But I really stand by that. I think I don't really care about billion-dollar corporations because how much money do you need in essence? Like I know things cost money, but how much money do you really need? But do think about this: how many people that's in relation with Disney have protested? In fact, you know what? Let's look that up. Let's see who would be who who's a good person that would cite that. Let's see. Robert Downey Jr. maybe. I'm gonna try some. I'm just gonna type in. Mm, let me see what. Let me type in Disney stand on. Cause I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Disney stand on Hong Kong protest. Let's do protest. Make it very specific. Boycott Mulan. See, this is the first that pops up. They don't talk about anything else but the Mulan stuff. At least on Google. And it don't really go too much. Okay, there we go. Let's see what this says. Oh, Ink the 1990. This is 2 years old. Never mind. Now look at that. 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 Now I say you have to treat this like China's an outcast, but you know what's going on. You know politically they're communists. You know the president is very, very sensitive. They banned South Park. Banned South Park. They banned Winnie the Pooh. If you could ban Winnie the Pooh, and you're working with them, you just like, you know what? Bow my head, sign these papers, and let's make this money. So, and I think this one's in Hong Kong. Okay, so, but it's still kind of like a China. Hong Kong is part of China to a degree. I'm not gonna stay too much long. I think I got my point across. But if you type in Disney support for Hong Kong, all you get is boycott Mulan. You don't see any tidbits about, this in-game actor, voice his opinion about that. So let's say hashtag free Hong Kong. Let's see. Now people that don't have any ties to China, they can say whatever the hell they want. Um, let's view this on Twitter. But really, you have to really think about this, guys. Let's see. What did LeBron say? LeBron James with no regard for human life. Free Hong Kong. Did he say that? Or that guy say that for him? Ouch. That looked like it hurt. Ouch. God dang. Oh man. So it's a scary world. But this is only going to happen once in a blue moon, maybe more depending on how it goes. I would probably try to push people to see this video. It's an hour long. It's over an hour long. But I will break it up into some bits and pieces. I think altogether it's 40 minutes. If I edit to where I kind of blinked out for a little bit, I think it could be about 35, 30 minutes. So that'll be on my YouTube. I'm gonna keep this one up because I do want people to kind of see this side of me or understand that, you know, I really don't pick sides, especially when it comes to politics. I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want people talking about politics really on my stream or my chat because people can't handle differences. I can, but I know people can't. And I also know I don't want to talk about it. If I'm playing the game, I don't care about what Trump has to say. I don't care about what type of laws might be made. I just want to play the game and have fun. That's why I'm doing it on the podcast because I could talk. If I was at a bar and a friend was talking about this, we could have a civil, intelligent conversation about it. And I feel I could do it here. So it may happen more on the podcast than it would have happened on the stream. And I feel that's gonna be kind of like a guideline. I'm gonna put that in there. I got some big changes coming up, and part of that I'm gonna have to um I guess rewrite like the rules and the about page and kind of emphasize a couple of things. I don't want to get so detailed. It just had to be a point where if you say something that I know that's gonna be problematic, I'll give out a warning. I'll say, hey, you know, that's cool that you believe in that, but it's not the time or the place for that. And if you continue to do that, you shall be banned. Because I don't have the patience for it. You can say I'm censoring your freedom of speech if you want, but at the same time, you come to my house, so it's house rules. And that's about it, guys. I think I'm gonna call it a night. I will be streaming some Ghost Recon. If you looked at my Instagram at ice, no, excuse me, at Maverick Gaming, this is gonna be kind of a staple for probably the next few weeks, maybe a few months. I really enjoyed the game. I played the Breakpoint. What I played the Breakpoint beta. Really enjoyed it, except for the AI and the amount of enemies everywhere, because there's a lot. But I had already bought Wildlands. I probably like shit like 8 months ago on a nice sale. I don't think I got any DLCs with it, but I got the core game for like $10, maybe $5. And other than the fact that I can't dive and roll and hide myself in dirt and have division like RPG elements in it, the game is fun. I'm playing it with no map. So yeah, okay, I'm explaining this real quick and then I'm gonna get off and I'll probably explain again on the stream. But no mini map. I have it on advance. So, damage is increased and I think they're more aware, which I might have to bump it up to. I think after the first big boss I take down, I'm boosted up to to what's it called? Expert? Extreme? I think it's extreme. I'm gonna bump it up to extreme, but thing is I don't have a map period. So a lot of people have been playing about because Extreme still has the map, but they just take away the glow, the enemy glow, which lets you know there's an enemy present or how dense it's populated with enemies. I don't have any of that. Haha. I say that pretentiously. Nah, but no mini map. I do have some HUD like the compass. At the compass, and I do have the if I mark somebody, I don't know if you could take that off, but I have it where I can still mark them with the drone and I can see where they at. Just to give me at least that bit of I may one mission try about that. Another parameter is that I could get skill points and collect. I can collect skill points anytime, but if I do a mission, I can accrue said skill points. So if I find 5 skill points and I want to do this story mission or a yellow mission or maybe even a side mission, I haven't decided. Probably just the yellow missions. And yeah, the yellow missions and the story missions. If I do one of those, I will reward myself and actually accrue the points and what's the word I want? I want to say, I don't want to say accolade, but I do. I could put them in and dumb it down, so I can actually use the points after the mission, so I can be better for the next mission. Another thing is, I will also be because I noticed you can change the weapons at any time, so I'm only going to do it at the weapon box instead of just pausing the game. I mean, it's a small detail, but I feel like it makes it just a little bit more, intense and kind of like, okay, I got the wrong gun, so no, oh yeah, I can also pick up guns if I need to. So if I have an SMG for what I know is supposed to be like a long mission, a long distance mission, and I come across a sniper rifle from a dropped enemy that dropped, then I'll pick it up and I'll use that instead. What else? What else? I can switch clothes whenever though, cause I like the clothes. The customization is pretty cool. And what else? What else, guys? What else, guys? I can use points whenever. Oh yeah, fast travel. I can only fast travel in a province that has been cleared, and that way I can, if I missed out any points, any food points or the rebel stuff, I could go back and just kind of at my own leisure get it, but not during missions, cause realism. But that's about it, guys. Thank you for listening. I had fun. I really enjoyed talking. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was because I almost didn't do it. I'm gonna immortalize this on the YouTube. So if you're watching this, you probably already know that you can find it. So I'm not wasting my time. But I would say this: if you're watching this on Mixer, then you could go to Maverick X Gaming on YouTube to watch at your own leisure, and vice versa for you watching on YouTube. Watching on YouTube, you can go to mixer.com/Winchy for the next 14 days, and the VOD will be up there. But YouTube is the prime spot you want to check this out at, and I think I might actually promote this a little bit more too. I won't talk about it again unless something happens, but that's about it. So I am definitely gonna call this podcast um an end. It was a little bit over an hour, which I was fine with it. I already knew it was going to be like that. And in about 5-10 minutes, I'm gonna get my Ghost Recon going. I'm gonna play a little bit of that, take a nap, and get on with the day, guys. So thank you for listening to what I had to say. I wish I had more people to talk to about this one, and maybe I will bring it back up just to make a point and to see what other people say about it. Other than that, I enjoyed this. I will see you guys later. This is Ice Cold. This was the No Pressure Podcast. This was episode 6 of season 0, which I said it backwards again. Titled It's Just a Thought. Like I said, I'm not trying to push any objectives, any agendas. Just let you know how I feel and what I think about some things just to get you inside my head a little bit. And everybody have a good night. Be safe, and I will catch you later.